Never take a flight the day of your cruise. Things like weather, staffing issues, mechanical issues, or any other unforeseen circumstances can lead to your flight getting delayed or canceled, which means you won't make your cruise and it will sail away without you. You shouldn't do this, but if you absolutely must, I'll give you some tips and tricks on how to fly the day of to give you the best chance to make your cruise. It's cruise day today. Good morning, I'm Steven, and we are 1,000 miles away from our cruise port. We're gonna be boarding today and we have to catch a flight, so that means I'm going to be breaking my own advice. So look, it's not a good idea. I'm not being smart right now, but I wanted to test it out. We'll talk really quickly about why or why not to book a flight on the same day of your cruise, but first, I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I'm booking my flights and what I'm doing to give myself the best possible chance to make it to my cruise today. Because actually, there's no guarantee right now that I'm going to make the flight. I have no idea. It could happen, it could not. I'm hoping it does, obviously, but that's the risk we take when we fly the day of. So like I said, it's 3 in the morning right now, and we are going to be catching a 6 a.m. flight out of Los Angeles Airport. I'm not going to tell you what flight I'm taking or where my final destination is until we get to the end of the video. So if you figure it out, comment down below when you figured it out and how you figured it out. What kind of hints and clues did you put together to figure out where we're going? And if you figured it out at the end when I finally told you, that's okay as well. So why would I pick a flight that is going to be so early in the morning? Well, let me tell you, the reason is because you want to be able to catch the earliest flight out possible so you can arrive to your destination on time with plenty of time to make it to the cruise terminal. Boarding for cruises usually starts around 10:30 to 11 and will cut off around 3 p.m. So there's only about a 5-hour window that you have to make it to the cruise terminal and check in. After 3 p.m., that's it. Check-in closes and the cruise starts to make ready to sail away. You don't want to be late for that. So that's why you want to catch the earliest flight. Second, if your flight isn't as far of a destination, meaning it's only an hour or maybe 2 hours, you want to hopefully have an airport that has multiple flights to that destination in case if your flight were to get canceled or were to get delayed. Having the earliest flights gives us the best chance to get there as early as possible, but it also gives us some wiggle room in case if things were to get delayed by an hour, 2 hours. Those kinds of delays happen all the time with airlines, so when you're on the earliest flight out, maybe an hour, 2 hours, not a big deal. Obviously anything more is worse, but if the flight gets canceled, hopefully you have an airport. Like we're flying out of LAX. There's multiple flights out of LAX to your final destination. Thankfully for us, there's actually 2 more flights from the carrier that we're taking today. So in case if 6 a.m. doesn't work out, there's one at 8 and there's one at 10, though we'd be really cutting it close at 10. And of course, thankfully we're at a big hub, so there's actually multiple airlines that we could possibly rebook to if it came down to it. But that is obviously a worst case scenario if we're looking to other airlines. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. So alas, that brings us to where we are right now, 3 a.m. It's time to get out of the house, so let's go. Whew. Thankfully I can get dressed super quick because the driver is outside right now, so let's go. So why don't you want to fly and cruise the same day? Well, the obvious reason is because of the inconsistency airlines can provide. There's no guarantee that your flight will take off or land on time. So that alone is the major component why everyone suggests you to never take a flight the day of. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to fly the day before or a few days before to give you a lot more time to get to your final destination and make your cruise. You're gonna have to pay for an extra hotel stay, food while you're there, and extra transportation to and from an airport and to and from the port. If you're going to a place that you want to explore, then maybe that's already worth it, but if the extra couple $100s for a hotel stay just makes it too much and you're trying to travel on a budget, that might not be the right answer. I'll be honest though, testing out flying the day of isn't the only reason why we're doing this. We actually wanted to save a few bucks ourselves. When it comes to saving money, that extra $100 can lead to other excursions, to other souvenirs, to just so many different things, or it's just money that you didn't really have to begin with. So I understand if you want to take a flight the day of. I'm doing it too. We've made it to LAX and Jalen has magically appeared.
Voila.
So we're gonna go ahead and get checked in and get our luggage tags to wherever we're going.
Oh, to wherever we're going.
Yep.
And yes, we only packed 1.5 suitcases for this.
Any guesses on where we're going yet? Alright, we've made it through security, checked in, everything at our gate, ready, just waiting at this point. I wanted to add on to the reason why I booked my earlier flight. The driver mentioned to me that he's noticed that a lot of the flights that take off first in the morning usually are always on time. There's no previous flight that's going to delay it. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the two options you have when going on a cruise for how to book a flight. You could book the flight directly on its own, which is good because that means you have full control over everything. There's no worries. And it's on you and there's nothing the cruise line can do to interrupt. That's so weird. They're doing construction in LAX. Or you can book through the cruise line, which you have to leave everything up to the cruise line. Now the cruise line does offer benefits. Usually you can pay a different pay schedule. You don't have to pay right away. You just pay a final payment with the cruise, which pricing, it's better to book with the cruise line. They offer travel protection, meaning that they're guaranteed to get you to your cruise on time. So we actually booked today's flight through the cruise line, through whichever line we're doing. We were able to pick what flight we wanted, what time, and I was even able to pick our seats. So that was an advantage. Now the big disadvantage to booking through a cruise line is going to be that you have no control over the flights. If you wanted to change something, if there was a delay or any adjustments that needed to happen, it's a double-edged sword. You have to go through the cruise line. Now there's a hotline for each cruise line that is there to assist you in case if something goes wrong, but you have to go through them. If you go up to a gate agent, they won't be able to adjust anything for your flights, which is maybe a disadvantage, could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. It just kind of depends on your point of view. I kind of see it as, like I said, a double-edged sword. It goes both ways. It could be great, it could be bad, but that's why you might want to book through the airline. We actually have loyalty status through One World, which is an alliance of airlines. I'm not telling you what airline yet. You'll find out in just a moment. But I wasn't exactly sure if we were going to get waitlisted for an upgrade, because when you have status, you actually get complimentary upgrades. You get waitlisted for it, but I wasn't sure if that was going to apply because everything was reliant on the cruise line. Well, this morning we actually woke up and we found out that we were flying first class on our flight. So that is so cool. This flight, a little bit longer, 3 hours. We get to really feel what first class is like, though. So far, I will say I don't feel like any different because we're still sitting in the same waiting area. There's no lounges or anything.
And we had to wait in the same lines.
In the same lines, yeah. So that's okay though. I'm just excited. It's especially great. Obviously, first class is not a requirement, not even a suggestion, because sometimes it's really expensive. If you can have loyalty and you get upgraded, you can be rest assured that the cruise line will put you on the wait list and upgrade for you, and you don't have to worry of them denying it for whatever reason. But yes, we get to go in first class.
Thank you. I got both of you guys.
I think you might have maybe seen the flight. I don't think so. We'll just pretend like you didn't, but you might have seen the airline. I'll just tell you, we're going on Alaskan Airlines.
But where are we going? Into the unknown.
Welcome aboard.
I don't know, we'll see.
Hey, hit my head.
How do you hit your head? There is too much room to hit your head.
I know, right?
Look at all the big room.
Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm like, oh. Well, first impressions is good.
I love how you have like 2.5 windows.
We even came to find boxed water seats.
Do you wonder if it tastes any good? I wonder. That's actually really good. And cold.
This video is not intended to be a first class review, but we're here, so might as well, right?
This is the best thing ever.
Just wanted to showcase the trays are a little different up here. They're on the side.
Pull it?
Yeah, I think you pull it out.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah, you pull it out and then it just folds out.
Oh, wow.
Wow, look at that space. Actually, would be pretty good for working on my laptop right now.
Oh, and it moves. Do I look cool yet?
It is kind of weird to have the seats really blank though.
Yeah, like there's no like place to hold your phone or anything like that. It's weird.
But can we really complain with all this legroom? Then I found down here, if you want, there are outlets between each guest. And there's USBs too.
And look, it says pull. It's a little extender. So So if you don't have enough room, now you do.
Now in first class, they actually do provide you a meal. We did review what we got on the plane, but it was just too loud. In order for you to hear us, this is kind of what we had to do.
Oranges taste way better when you're in the air and eating with real silverware, and it's cut fancy.
So anywho, we had the fruit platter with a little bit of granola. The other option would have been to get a breakfast sandwich, but because we were allergic to dairy, it was not an option for us, which kind of really made me sad. But that breakfast sandwich sure did smell good, and it looked really good from the other passengers we kind of overlooked and saw eating it. One of my favorite things in first class has to be the fancy glasses they give you, and they constantly refill your glass to make sure you always have a drink in hand. I hope I never have to fly coach again, but that's honestly just an unrealistic dream that I have. When we get back on the ground, I'll give you my secret tip on how we ended up getting upgraded for free to first class. Alright, we actually landed. We're safe here in our location. We actually made it, luckily, right?
There
Thankfully,
were no
nothing
delays,
wrong.
no cancellations. Thank goodness, because I was nervous.
Yeah, definitely more in our heads this morning than we are here. Now that we're here, breath of fresh air. But did you figure out where did we go? Because I don't know where we went. I have no idea where I am, actually. I guess we're heading to bag check because we gotta get our bags. We're gonna talk about transfers in just a moment. But first, I wanted to mention, you're probably wondering, how the heck did we get first class? It's definitely not because we paid for it, because we could not afford it. And then also, we don't fly enough on any particular airline. But there is some really cool thing with American Airlines. That's the actual loyalty status that we have. I'm gold on American Airlines, and actually it's not because I fly enough, it's mainly because I have a credit card. I can make a different video about it, but American Airlines allows you to earn elite status miles on that airline with their credit card, which is a unique thing that I don't think other airlines do. So look into that, do some research. Be careful about credit cards though and all that stuff, but yeah, that's kind of how we did it. Not because we've earned it, but because we kind of did a sideways way into it.
But hey, whatever gets me into first class.
Exactly.
Those seats were so comfy.
Definitely worth it. Doesn't happen all the time, but when you get the lucky upgrade, oh, it was a nice nap. So we found baggage claim. So what I want to talk about is insurance. Now, of course, you could plan everything right and things can still go wrong. That's just the nature of things. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. Usually how it goes. Like I mentioned earlier, if you book through a cruise line, they have the guarantee to get you to your destination, which could help you in case if there's a cancellation or a major delay to get you to maybe not your first port where you're supposed to board, but maybe to the second port where the ship is going. Maybe they'll get you a flight arranged there. Anything to try and get you to the ship at some point throughout the cruise. That's one option. If you're booked on your own, you're kind of on your own. There's really nothing any of the major carriers can do other than get you to your destination, but if you miss the ship, you've missed the ship. Cruise line won't really make any accommodations for you if you're not booked with them. But you could book vacation insurance, in which that would cover in case if there was a major delay or cancellation of an airline. That's something separate, an additional cost to your airfare and your cruise fare. It all varies on how much you want to spend on insurance, depending on what you go with and all the minute details of those programs. But it's definitely something to heavily consider because things can go wrong even when you've planned everything as right as you can. But thankfully today, we've made it safe and sound and we're on time. So now the next thing is going to be getting to the port. You have a few options there. You can, well, it depends on the port you're going to, but you can buy a transfer from the cruise line, meaning that they will take you to and from the airport. You can do transportation on your own, like Uber, taxis, all that stuff, or public transportation, which I don't necessarily recommend depending on where you are, but like Vancouver, you could do a train. Here, where we are, I don't think you can do a train to the port. It doesn't work as well.
So we're not in Vancouver.
Yeah. We booked a Royal Caribbean transfer, so we're gonna go find an agent and they'll hopefully direct us on where to go next, because I've actually never done this before. So this will be an interesting experience. And if they don't have agents walking around, then there's probably a desk somewhere. Just ask someone, I'm sure.
I'm sure someone can help you out.
We've seen plenty of agents walking around. We'll go and head over to our ship. Well, you might be able to see the cruise line logo. Any guesses on what cruise line or what ship we might be going on?
Well, I am carrying a lot of Disney stuff, so.
That's true, a lot of Disney stuff, but does
Don't
that mean
be fooled
anything?
by what you see.
Oh, one thing I completely forgot about. Make sure to put your luggage tags on. Kind of almost forgot that in the backpack.
And Steven is genius and got these little pouches, so all you have to do is twist it. It is so easy. Normally you'd have to like staple it or tape it together or something.
And then she's walking us over to the bus. Alright, so here's a lounge for us to go ahead and check in and wait for our shuttle to the port.
I feel so fancy.
It's currently 9:20, so we'll see how long it takes us to get over.
Because our boarding time is supposed to be 10:30, so will we make it in time? Let's find out. This is for Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. Hi.
So this is definitely something new that they're doing. They're actually checking Royal Caribbean and celebrity guests in over at the airport. That's something I've never seen before.
So now we can just transfer and get onto the ship. We don't have to like show our passport and check in and do this and do that.
And they've given us wristbands.
Wristbands.
So we should be able to walk on. We should be able to walk on if all things go well. Not really sure. I've never seen this before, never heard of it, so really exciting. I know that other brands are not doing that. Princess, Carnival, all those other cruise lines are not doing that in where we are, or that I know of at all. So pretty cool that Royal is doing it, and it's just to help out at the pier so that way things aren't as busy and crazy, which I was a little dreading on heading over to where we're heading to. Have you figured it out yet?
Just tell them.
Look, if what this guy has been saying is a little too much for you, I have a solution for you. I am a travel agent, meaning that if you book directly through me, I can help you plan your next cruise vacation. I could be your guardian angel, help ensure that every step of the way is a smooth process. The best thing about my service is that it is absolutely free. Cruise lines pay a commission to travel agents, meaning that if you like the channel and you want to support it, you can help me help you. If you're interested, check out my website, goodmorningadventure.com. All you have to do is fill out a quick form, and I'll get back to you within 48 hours. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video. Hey, Steven, what's that orange card you're holding? Did you know Seattle's Pier 53 is the busiest ferry terminal in the nation? I guess we're in Seattle, because that's what the card says. We're going to Pier 91 aboard. You'll see the ship in just a moment. Time to go.
Orange tickets!
It's 10 o'clock and we're on our way to the bus.
I'm so excited.
I'll take those orange tickets.
Thank
you. We've made it to the port.
We've made it. Our ship is right behind me, and it is huge. Holy cow. I don't know what I was expecting, but not that. And like, I've only seen it from the bus. I cannot wait to stand next to it. This thing is massive. I do not want to walk all those flights of stairs. I'm so excited though. I think it's finally hitting me that like, we're getting on a cruise ship, because we literally flew today and we never fly on the days that we get on. So it's just been this like obsolete idea. No, this is really happening. We're here.
As you can see, we have made it here in Seattle and we are boarding the Quantum of the Seas. I am so excited. Can't wait for that vlog to start. We're gonna cut this off right here. I hope you learned a thing or two about flying the same day of your cruise. I know it worked out for us, but please don't take us as an example. I was 100% prepared to make this video about us just completely failing and all the nightmares that would go along with it. But it worked out, so that's great. Just prepare for the worst, and I think everything will go okay. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. I hope I've explained everything really well. And if you're interested in seeing Quantum of the Seas going to Alaska for 7 nights, check it out here on this channel, coming out very soon. As always, this isn't a goodbye, but just a see you real soon.